All right. Good evening, everybody. This is the May 8th Township Board meeting. Can I have your attention, please? We will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
United States of America. Republic for which it stands.
Thank you. If you're unaccustomed to seeing me do this, our township supervisor and our township manager are both out of town for this meeting. So Finance Director Ann Darsnick will be taking on the role of the township manager. To our other side is Deputy Clerk Sharon Gray. And I'm opening this meeting. It is 7:34 p.m. And my first job is to nominate a member of the board to chair this meeting, and I would like to make a motion that we nominate Treasurer Ted Van Oss to chair this meeting.
Support.
I have a second from Mr. Budney. Can I have a vote?
Aye. Aye.
Anyone against? Okay, all in favor. The motion passes, and I gratefully pass the baton to Treasurer Van Oss.
Thanks, Uta. Appreciate it. First item on the agenda would be the additions and deletions to the agenda. And I noticed that our first have a deletion, which would be the presentation that was scheduled by Trenton Veterans Memorial Library. And they would like to delay that to, I believe, the 22nd, the meeting of the 22nd.
Second.
Questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Is there any other additions or deletions to the agenda? Hearing none. I would like to have a motion to accept the agenda as printed.
So moved.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Jim, would you do the consent agenda for us, please?
Aye. Approve the consent agenda 17006, which is made up of the minutes of the April 4th, 2017 regular meeting, approval of the April 24th, 2017 closed session minutes, the check register dated May 5th through May 5th, 2017, and approval of the 2017 Island Fest fireworks permit with Ace Pyro.
Before I go forward to this for a vote, I neglected to ask if anybody had any comments on the agenda, public comment. Seeing none, we'll move forward with the vote. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Do a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. All right, the next agenda on is our action items. And the first action item on our agenda is the acceptance of the resignation of Mr. Stuart Keeler from the Airport Fire Commission.
Is that your motion?
I'll make that motion.
Then I'll second it.
We have a second.
Thank
Mr. This obviously we're in an area that is very near and dear to my heart. That's the commissions and commissioners on this island. They are a very, very integral part of what makes this government work the way that it works. So I will ask for a vote on his resignation with regret. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None opposed. And I have a certificate here that Brian Loftus would be reading, but I'd like to read it Stuart's not here, but I'll read the certificate. We'll see that it gets to him. This goes to Stuart Keeler. And it's a certificate of appreciation. And it reads, whereas Stuart Keeler has served on the Fire Commission for 20 years, and whereas Mr. Keeler's tenure on the Fire Commission has provided invaluable insight, commentary, direction, and experience as a member of this commission, and whereas Mr. Keeler has worked tirelessly for our community, representing the Township of Grosse Ile and in a most professional manner. Whereas Mr. Keeler is resigning from the Fire Commission, therefore on this date, May 8th, 2017, I, Theodore Van Oss, in stead for Brian Loftus, on behalf of the Grosse Ile Township Board and Fire Chief Duncan Murdoch, do honor and thank Stuart for his continued commitment, dedication to Grosse Ile Township and to this island and community. Thanks a lot, Stuart. We appreciate it. Okay, moving on to action item number 2. All right, would you? Yeah, you can do it. Go ahead.
Make a motion to award the Centennial Farm Activity Center floor replacement bid to J-Bro Carpet One in the amount of $15,567.86, which is the low bid of the 2 bids that we received. History and purpose: the existing floor in the Centennial Farm.
Jim, we got to
I don't always do that.
support.
Okay, now you can continue.
The existing floor in the Centennial Farm Activity Center was replaced in 2007 and has lasted 10 years. The Activity Center is used for rentals, events, and programs. All of these activities have an impact that would require replacement. The high traffic areas and the areas near the outside doors are in great need of replacement. This floor project is one of the last phases in the interior updating of the building. The motion does not include a recommended contractor at this time in order to provide the project material for the board packet, but I guess it does now.
Yes, it does.
Yep, the bids were open in time in order to provide the project material for the board packet. The bids were open on April 26th. The 2 bids are very close and are being reviewed. Okay, so you should have gotten a handout from Dale indicating what we're doing here.
No, I know it's been part of their budget, and this is just the flow through of doing what they said they were going to do.
Yeah, let me say one more thing. The fiscal impact of it. This line item has been $30,800 budgeted as of this date. Approximately $1,800 has been spent. The floor is estimated at $8,300, and the interior updates were estimated at $15,000 for budgeting purposes. The floor coats were higher than planned, but we are still within the maintenance budget as identified in budget block grant funds are being sought from Wayne County. So we had to pick the lowest bid regardless, because if we get a grant from Wayne County, that's what you have to do.
Yep. Yeah.
Community Development Block Grant.
And the two bids were all, I mean, within a couple $100 of each other, very, very close. So you feel pretty good that they knew what they were talking about. Well,
the J-Bro bid, they are a flooring company.
Correct.
The other bid is from a construction company. So going with the floor company, I think, is a wise choice, and it's $220 cheaper.
Yep.
If I can add, I think it includes, and a little bit more than just flooring. There's going to be some work on the subfloor. And I'll be honest, when we built that building and we put that floor in 10 years ago, we got a heck of a lot of wear and tear out of that building and that floor. And our kids, Grosse Ile kids have had parties, have dance classes, karate classes. us older girls have had, various aerobics classes and so forth. And the building really is showing its wear. So I think if we can get another 10 years out of this, we've done really well.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Well, a resident asked, why are we all here before the meeting? And so I'll just give you some local news, kind of take the place a little bit of Supervisor Loftus and share some things from the community. So this weekend, this weekend was prom weekend. And it was also the weekend of the Y-High Regatta in Wyandotte. And so I have a few details I'd like to share. The prom court for 2017 were some very smart and some very lovely young ladies. Emily Rista was chosen prom queen. Olivia Robinson, public disclosure, she's my niece. And Maya Pandya and Sarah Valaquette were all, I would imagine, prom princesses, what they were on the court. And a gentleman named Michael Simone was voted to be prom king, and the young princes were Joey Koss, Josh Moskal, and Jacob Ohab, and all very active young people in our community and voted into these positions by their peers. And so if you saw all the limos and buses and fancy dresses and high heels and glitter over the weekend, that's what was going on. Then May brought Y-High and the Hebda Cup to Downriver, which are the two big premier regattas down here. It's the beginning of the Downriver rowing season. And I just wanted to highlight how amazing it was. It was brutally cold, nasty wind. In fact, Y-High was canceled before all of the finals were run. But they drew teams from Erie, Pennsylvania, Parkersburg, West Virginia, from Grand Rapids, Ann Arbor, Toledo, Northville, in addition to our local teams, Gibraltar, Carlson, Riverview, Trenton, Grosse Ile, Crestwood, and Wyandotte. That's pretty exciting stuff when you see our riverfront packed with parents that have come from all these places. The Parkersburg crew came up from the Ohio border, I think near Marietta, and they probably brought 40 or 50 parents along with the crew. And all those people stayed in hotels and ate our food. And so the regatta does have, I think, a positive economic impact. And if you saw our kids, our downriver kids, competing and yet getting along with each other, across the team lines, it was a very exciting event to see. My third item is calling all election workers. We do have a November election, and if you are even remotely interested in being an election worker, we like to joke about being poll workers. Please contact Sharon Gray down at the clerk's office. We're getting ready to sign people up to start training people. We will pay you to train, and the election, of course, is on November 7th, and it's only local ballot, so it's a great opportunity to learn about running an election. And Sharon, if I'm not mistaken, you just need to be 16 years and older. We can have a certain number of 16-year-olds as long as we have a certain number of over 21s. Okay. To be official. But we have positions for high school students to participate. And they get paid as well. And if you're interested in working with computers and data and so forth, that's a great place where we like to put some of our younger talent. So that's it for the clerk's report. Okay, I'll read the supervisor's report for May 8th, 2017. The Grosse Ile Education Foundation is having their major fundraiser next weekend, May 13, at the Centennial Farm. This year's event is a Hawaiian party. Enjoy a Hawaiian menu, music, Polynesian dancers, a bonfire, and raffle prizes. The cost is $50 a person. The event starts at 6:30, and there are brochures available at the back of the boardroom, and I'm sure you've seen the signs up around town. The blessing of the bikes will be held at St. James Episcopal Church on May 20th at 10 a.m. Woody's favorite event, Dump the Junk and Find a Treasure, will be held May 20th and 21st from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. each day. The event is sponsored by the Open Space Greenways Committee, and it takes place in the parking lot of 8555 Grow Road, or the DPS building, and the only caveat is no electronics. Correct, Woody? No electronics. And no railroad ties. Island Fest is approaching on June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Go to islandfestgrosseile.com for more information. Water's Edge Marina will have a weekly organized paddle starting May 30th, like We Kayak on Grosse Ile, or call 734-285-2925 for more information. And we have Mrs. Walker sitting in the audience here. Maybe at the end you can make another announcement. Let's see here. Thursday night Riverfront concert series starts on June 22nd at Smokies on the Water, and the band is called the DCB Band. Remember to download Grosse Ile Connect on your smartphones. It is a free app. You will get safety notifications, current local events, and important township information sent direct to your phone. Always a lot of good information about bridge openings and closings. I'll say that much. Cutting of fallen trees is allowed at the open space locations on East River south of Manchester and Meridian south of Meridian School. Interested individuals may contact Margie Gape at the Township office, and they must fill out the appropriate forms. Individuals must have the form on their person while cutting on Township property. Cutting may occur between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. per the Greenways Open Space Committee. And that is the supervisor's report for May 8th.
For the treasurer's report, $8 invested in various accounts. If you need any help wading through the requirements in Wayne County or how to get down there and deal with them, give Annette at my office a call, and she'll be glad to walk you through it, either on the internet or I'm sure we've got a map that'll get you down there. Getting back's another thing. I had to come back from there today. You can't get back here from there. The Treasurer's Office continues to sell 2017 dog tags. Please provide rabies vaccination when purchasing your pet tag. The cost of the tag is now $12. Dog park passes are available for $10 for residents and $20 for non-residents. We have a Commerce Park meeting scheduled for the 15th. That'll be right here in this room. And that's all I have. Mr. Nelson?
Thank you, Mr. Van Oss. I am standing in for Chad tonight. He has a softball game, and I guess he thinks that's more important than Island Fest. I'm just teasing, of course. Anyway, I will read his report. It's not that long. I will read slowly so everybody can understand. The next festival meeting is on Wednesday, the 17th of May. Vendors, exhibitors, and sponsorships needed. Please visit islandfestgrowsville.com. And Supervisor Loftus and family are the only people on the Township Board that have donated funds and signed up to volunteer. With all the budget cuts, we need all hands on deck. I don't know about all those budget cuts, but that's Chad's report. The other thing I have is the next Rec Commission meeting is May the 25th, which is the fourth Thursday of every month in this room.
Thank you, Jim. Mr. Malvesto.
There will be a Fire Commission meeting tomorrow night at 7:30 and a BPAC Commission meeting the third Thursday of the month at 7:30. Thank you.
Mr. Budney.
Thank you, Acting Supervisor meeting. DPS meeting tomorrow here in this room. One of the topics of discussion will be roads. We have to start putting together a new project since the last millage. We went for the millage and it was turned down. We're going to put together a new project and see what we can do about fixing some parts of our roads. So we'll start the discussion tomorrow. Also, there will be a ZBA meeting this month on the 22nd. We actually have an appeal. So that's it, sir.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Bletcher.
The two commissions I serve on include the Space Greenways. We have Mr. Clark here tonight. If anybody has any questions about Dump the Junk or anything you wanted to add, Woody, have you back. We have plans, working with Dale Ream, Township Manager, to send out letters to the owners of 3 separate property locations to consider offers for open space. And we will expect to have those meetings accomplished by the end of May. We do have some people that are coming out of town, as well as local owners. Keep you updated on that as soon as we have some numbers and something further to offer the board. With respect to the second commission, I have the pleasure of sitting on, the Grillsville Police Commission, oversees the department. Chief Porcerelli is here tonight if anybody has any questions. Some interesting statistics I'd like to have everybody consider. That this last month we drove 13,869 miles. There were 5 vehicle crashes, none involving the police department, but all involving local citizens. Total calls were 990. There were 18 alarms, including 1 burglary, 79 111 calls, 5 OWIs, operating while intoxicated, impaired. We issued 116 verbal warnings and had 9 arrests. So your community police are very busy, very active, and they cover a lot of miles on a road miles in a community that has about 145 miles. That is the extent of my 2 reports for the Police Commission and for the Open Space Greenways. I do have a comment regarding a citizen on Grosseal. Treasurer Van Oss has said many, many times publicly and in private that volunteers are the backbone of this community, and so many times we have volunteers that work on the various commissions and likes to recognize those. I would like to spend a moment with recognition for Grosseal Troop Leader Brian McGran, whose wife sits on the Rec Commission. And Brian is the scout leader on Grosseal. You recall last meeting we had Wayne come in and explain to us what that life tree ring that he has in the lobby is all about. Well, that's part of the fruits and labors of Mr. McGran's leadership. I'd like you to understand that Mr. McGran was voted by the Mohican District of the Boy Scouts of America, which encompasses 19 downriver communities, unanimously as the Scoutmaster of the Year. Scoutmaster of Grosseal Troop 1261 for 5 years. His accomplishments include implementing innovative activities, serving as a mentor, introducing scouts to leadership roles, organizing high adventure events, and providing a strong advancement in retention program. What that means is Mr. McGran, in addition to his weekly troop meetings, he had monthly camping programs, a swim program, a week-long summer camp. He's introduced the troop to adventure opportunities, including a national jamboree, out island adventures at Florida Sea Base, Philmont Expedition, and coming up this summer is a Northern Tier canoe trip. He's organized each event with itineraries, transportation plans, fee schedule, tour permits, health forms, and wilderness survival requirements. In addition, he has organized the General Island Cleanup, Sunrise Beach Cleanup, and the Westcroft Gardens Cleanup. Under his guidance, troop membership has doubled, and according to the review board, 20% of the current troop members come from off the island. His leadership and his participation has simply made Groseal a much better place, made the Boy Scouts a much better organization, and I just want to take this time to recognize his contribution to the community.
Right.
One final note, each of the board members has received a copy of various newspaper articles that have come out of Massillon, Ohio. There were 5 articles in total. We in this board believe in candor. They involve our township rec director designee, who is to start on the 15th. The articles indicate a bit of history with Massillon Parks and Recreation, including the resignation of the prior head of the department, who simply said he had enough and wanted to leave. Ensuing articles indicate that there was a resignation by Miss O'Farrell, and that she had her resignation accepted. It was subsequently rejected, and the mayor determined that she should be removed because there was some question about rates of pay and organization within a department. The new salary schedule, as I understand, program was brought out this year. She has been director for 2 years. The program was in place for 6 years before that. And she brought it to the attention of the mayor that they had been some incorrect payments that had been made. And Ms. Farrell brought that to their attention, and according to what I understand, was promptly discharged for doing the right thing. I do not know anything more about that, but the articles indicate that there is an investigation, but it appears that there was no personal gain, no financial gain, and no reason for us not to continue. It's my understanding from Mr. Assorti that this is all part of the application process, and if there's anything we find later that would be inappropriate, there can be action taken on that. But I do not believe that there is any reason not to move forward with this, and we have every reason to do that. Again, these are articles that come from a newspaper. Take them for what they are worth. But I have every confidence that Mr. Ream and Mr. Assorti have done the background. They have looked into it. Mr. Ream has indicated to me that he has found nothing to question her integrity. She essentially acted as what appears to be in the role of a whistleblower and was punished for that. So, on that basis, in the interest of full disclosure, I would look forward to seeing her come to Groseal and start on the 15th. Nothing further, Mr. Treasurer.
Thank you. Mr. Sorty, do you have anything? And do you have anything you want to add? Last item would be public comment. Anybody out there like to? Out to kayaks?
Alrighty. This work tonight, guys? Okay. Alrighty, Kathy Walker, May 30th. It's coming. It's a couple weeks away, so get your kayak. Come on down. We're going to have new green carpeting. I just spoke with Mr. Nelson. He's anxious to get this going, so we have a beautiful launch. And we'll also have the Blessing of the Fleet on the 20th of June, so I hope everybody comes down. It'll be a nice event. very respectful of the people that have passed. We a lot of problems right now with the cold water, and I do want to recommend to people stay out of the water. Do not kayak; it's dangerous. A couple people just died about a week or two ago, so it's really dangerous right now. It seems nice, but it's not. It's cold. So, anyways, don't forget, starting May 30th, it's our 5th season. Come on down. Bye.
Kathy, when is the blessing of the fleet?
The 20th.
Of May or
June?
June. Okay.
June. Yeah, the 20th. The blessing of the bicycles is the 20th. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, great.
Mr. Clark.
Okay, Woody Clark, Park Lane. Dumped the junk the 2 days, 20 and 21st. No railroad ties. We're going to have 2 bins, one for metal, one for aluminum, and the tires and the hocus, all the stuff.
Any electronics?
Pardon?
Any electronics?
No.
None.
No electronics and no the other stuff. Hazardous waste. No hazardous
Okay.
waste, no electronics. We got signs out there that say no electronics.
Okay.
Okay. We put this together. Friendly advice for tips for new residents, and should be old residents too. To keep your home, sewers clean, and township wastewater treatment plant running clear. Do not flush any product that was currently sold as flushables. These include all types of wipes, baby wipes, flushable, moist toilet hygiene products, all surface cleaning wipes, antibacterial wipes. In addition, do not flush feminine hygiene products such as tampons, pads, condoms, or pet waste. Flush only human waste, then toilet paper. Prevent pre-roots from clogging your pipes by regularly using a chemical herbicide at the hardware store or Rudex your pipes, or having them mechanically snaked out. And also at the hardware store, you get root canal and main line. Now, how much money have we spent on the lawyers this year, or this month?
On this register, there is none.
None?
Nope.
Okay. How about last 6 months I haven't been here?
We'll get those for you.
Glad to see you back, Woody.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Out to all new residents.
So I would just announce that
Oh, yeah, for sure. I've been there.
usually the line
Thank you, Uta. Any other comments from the audience or the board? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.